Welcome back to the Crypto's Key conversation. We're going to start with this video clip that the crypto meme guy had put up. This is on the Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX, who put up the money to get him to be bailed out. So there's a lot of stuff that's been surfacing in regards to these two individuals from Stanford that had so-called put up this money. So let's take a quick listen into this. It's kind of low volume though.
Bankman-Fried's guarantors, specifically the previously sealed names of two people who had signed that bail package, have been publicly released.
Yeah, this is a really important story. Remember that Sam Bankman-Fried and his lawyers have sought to keep these names private for a lot of security concerns, and the guarantors were now identified in the unredacted bombs as Andreas Papke, a Stanford research scientist, and Larry Kramer, the former dean of Stanford's law school. Remember, that brings them close ties to Sam Bankman-Fried's parents. This was a $250 million bail package in which these two folks that were close to Sam Bankman-Fried's parents, worked with them, were the guarantors to the package, which of course is one of the largest in history.
Yeah, so one of the largest in history. Maybe that, there's been a lot of speculation on they throw out that number for some odd reason, but apparently the money that they put up, and I'm gonna see if I can put it up here. Yeah, right here. So the Meta Lawman says the previously unidentified guarantor, pretty much donators of Sam Bankman-Fried's bond, are both Stanford faculty members. Some news outlets are inaccurately reporting that they guaranteed Sam Bankman-Fried's $250 million bond. In reality, they are on the hook for $200,000 and $500,000 respectively. So the big question is like, okay, if that's only $700,000, your bail is at 250. 10% of 250 is 225 million. So how is this it? Where's the rest of the money? Who put up the money is the question. Tiffany Fong has something right here too. It goes, the name of Sam Bankman-Fried's bail donators have been released. Larry Kramer, former dean of Stanford Law, signed for $500,000, and Andreas Papke, a computer scientist, signed for $200,000. In our last conversation, Sam denied that either donator had received payments from FTX and Alameda in the past. We just played that video right here. So Tony Edwards has the same sentiment I have. So obviously people are kind of speculating, and they're seeing, these signatures and this inner city press stuff. And then he goes, Foster Sam Bankman-Fried was bailed out by Stanford reps. But we all know the 250 million did not come from the school. So who actually put up the money? That's what the question is. What's being suppressed here? Obviously they have like some front people that, oh yeah, they're just going to sign, but we're going to fund it some other way. So it's kind of strange. And I think people were also talking about, there's maybe some other agreements or something that happened in regards of why he got the bail he got. I forgot what the term was, but it was something that was new to me, foreign to me, and I had to kind of look into it. But anyways, Meta Lawman continues on something. He goes, breaking news on FTX bankruptcy. The FTX judge has denied the U.S. trustee's motion to appoint an independent examiner. If this ruling is allowed to stand, there will be no credible investigation of third parties who may have enabled one of the largest frauds in U.S. history. John Deaton says, did he give a reason? And then Meta Lawman says, yes. He read his decision from the bench. He cited two principal reasons. One, too expensive and potentially duplicative of the investigations already underway. It would put the digital asset at risk if he permitted another party to have access to the FTX system. And then Jungle E says, sounds like someone got some of those sweet FTX donations. Ugh. This is crazy. I mean, it really makes you think though, like, obviously it's no surprise that this stuff actually happens, right? Obviously this is on a major scale, but think about like on the smaller scale things, like how much of this stuff really gets swept under the rug, how much gets suppressed. This is crazy, man. I wonder if we'll ever really know. I mean, obviously we're trying to get in the Ripple versus SC case, those Him documents and emails, right? But it could be highly, it could contain information that can expose a lot of wealthy, powerful people. That's probably why we won't see it. And obviously with this Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX stuff, especially with us knowing that he's been meeting with Chairman Gensler in the SEC, their ties to, to all these powerful government officials and powerful people, I doubt we really know the true ins and outs of all this. We're going to continue on. This from Library says the FTX fraud hurt all cryptocurrency users. Now some American politicians want to use this fraud to hurt cryptocurrency users even further. It's psychopathic. I mean, it's crazy, but that's the truth. It's like, okay, the SEC is supposed to be out to set out investors, right? The SEC's meeting with Sam Bankman-Fried, but they sue Ripple, Library, Dragon Chain, and the likes, right? And they're going after these platforms and these exchanges, right? But they're meeting with Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX, right? But now these politicians are starting to use what happened with Sam Bankman-Fried and Do Kwon and Terra Luna and them to further hurt and suppress the industry, which in turn hurts the so-called investors that they're set out to protect. And that's the reality we live in. It's wild. It's from Digital Asset Investor. He's responded to Jake Travinsky's tweet here where he goes, to begin, some important scene setting. 2002 was the worst year in crypto history from a policy perspective, by far. It may have been the worst year in DC for any industry in recent memory. The whole year was one thing crashing after another, ending with the collapse of FTX. And the Digital Asset Investor says, has anyone really addressed whether FTX was propped up by government in order to use as a tool to cause the crashes in crypto? And he says, Mark Wetjen, CFTC under Gensler, was the GC for FTX. I smell government rats everywhere where the crash is orchestrated. And that's the whole thing he talks about, like, you know, all the world is staged. I mean, from the information that we have available to us, I mean, I think I'm gonna just speak for myself. That's what I do on this channel. For myself, like it wouldn't surprise me at all if this is orchestrated. I mean, we're seeing how these narratives are trying to be spent a certain way. You know, obviously trying to scare people out of the market. Obviously trying to use these major collapses and all this fear-containing stories and narratives to keep you know, the smaller players from investing in and trying to implement these things in a fraudulent, corrupt, and conflict of interest way, right? So they can have their incumbents come get a bigger piece of the pie. All of this stuff just, it seems, I'm blanking on the word. It's almost like not too good to be true. It just there's no coincidence, right? It's like, that's interesting. That's the kind of vibe that I get from a lot of this stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's orchestrated. DI has another one here. Is responding to Ryan Adams right here. It says, okay, crypto, what's the best way to fight this rogue SEC? He says the best way is for Bitcoin and Ethereum maxis to put their bias behind them and get behind John Deaton, who has done more fighting than anyone in crypto with none of your help, because you're wrongly thought he was only fighting for XRP for 2+ years when he was actually on the front lines of fighting for all crypto. Hands down, he hit it on the head, man. That's just the truth. We needed this conversation to happen a long time ago, and we've been talking about it on this channel. DI has another one here. It says, prediction: the decision to crack down on crypto will be the dumbest political move in the history of politics. Choose your side wisely, politicians. Choose wrong, and you can kiss your political career goodbye. We're taking names. The industry has a long memory. I mean, straight up. Quickly coming over here, blockchain backer had put this up. He goes, whoo, right back up there. So obviously we've had, you know, a lot of stuff that's been happening. You know, Chairman Gensler in the SEC, CFTC, the New York, I forgot what that government entity is out there, you know, coming to crack down on, you know, blockchain companies, exchanges, platforms, DeFi, stablecoins. So we had a lot of downside, right? And look, he had put this up here. We just shot right back up. And if you come down here, he goes, laugh aloud, amazing. I mean, shot literally, I mean, what were we down at? 21.3 something. And then it shot up to 24.2 something. So that was a fat move. And as you can see over here, we're currently sitting at a 1.14 trillion market cap, currently up 6.4% for the day. Bitcoin sitting at 24,113. Ethereum sitting at 1668 right now. And then XRP jumped from, I think it was like 36 cents or something like that, all the way up to 40 cents a little change. So right here, Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index are going to have an update in 2 hours. I can definitely see this being maybe a little bit in the greed, just my prediction. But obviously, man, there's some crazy stuff going on, man. Maybe this is some more manipulation stuff. Maybe it's all orchestrated. Maybe even the Ripple versus SC stuff is all orchestrated. You know, who knows what's happening? All we can do is try to take in the information that's available to us and cast our own judgment and you know, formulate our own opinion and stick to our investment strategy, because we have literally zero control of what happens, you know, with these major players and these government politicians in the markets. That's what I have for you, though. This one was supposed to be a little quick. I got to get out of here. Make sure you come to the Crypto is Key Conversation YouTube channel. Subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Crypto is Key 1. I really appreciate your support out there, you guys. With all that being said, stay strong out there. Be safe.